Greetings, beautiful nerds. Welcome to our 16th episode of The Survivors of Ashcaleen. I am excited to continue this journey once again with this group of, we'll just call them heroes. They're heroes at this point. They're the good guys. As they encounter this world's many mysteries and all of its problems. But who better to introduce themselves than our wonderful cast, starting with Jal.
Hey, it's me. I'm Matt, also known as War Torn Knight out there on the interwebs. And for this wonderful, wonderful show that we have going on, I have the pleasure of playing new titles here. Jal Hord'n, former sergeant of Ashcaleen's Red Guard, current ring bearer for the Order of the Fallen Tower?
Fading Tower.
Fading Tower. Damn it. Got it.
And recently fired Yellow Cloak Guard.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, that one is in like half the size font in italics with parentheses. Also recent.
Neska.
Hi, I am Taylor, also known as Virus05 out on the World Wide Web. And for this extended one-shot, I have the honor, privilege, more adjectives that I'm blanking on, of playing Neska, the full-blooded Yuan T newly enrolled student.
Oh, we'll see. We'll see.
We'll find out. I'm excited.
IVAR.
Hello, everybody. My name is Victor. You can find me as Victor the Story Weaver on the social medias of the regional wide webs, local wide webs, world wide webs, all the webs. And I have the pleasure of playing the former general of the Order of Manasune of the Callister Islands and worshipper of the sun and the light, IVAR, now known as the Vanquisher, formerly known as the Banished and Forsaken. So, yeah, let's go.
You haven't dropped former general. I feel like we didn't even drop it in the first episode of the one shot because it was like, we're never going to get to this.
I mean, we haven't in game. We haven't gotten to like even that. I don't think.
I think that I jokingly called you General.
We alluded to it very briefly to the fact that you were a member of the military for a Order of Kalashtar, but correct. We never got further than that.
No, like the party doesn't know his rank, his former rank.
Yeah.
No, and never tell Jal because his ego couldn't take it that you outrank him.
Now I want to.
And of course, as always, I'm your friendly neighborhood dungeon master, Andy, aka Mr.DanDyDM, and you can find me on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, on all the socials, threads. Most importantly, though, find me on YouTube under Mr.DanDyDM, because that is where you can get all of these episodes and more, including all of the other actual plays and short form content that I produce, specifically Shadows of Ashcaleen, and my pirate show, which also takes place in this universe, Our Flag Means Doom. If you happen to come across this episode and you enjoy it, please consider catching up by going all the way back to episode 1, from our one-shot days to suddenly discovering, we like hanging out with each other. So let's see where the story goes. We do, of course, appreciate all of you who have liked and subscribed thus far. And now that we've got our introductions out of the way, let us dive into this brand new episode of The Survivors of Ashcaleen. Neska, you are standing at the doorway at this double doorway gate that is currently being held open for you by this very small calico tabaxi child. Calico furred. He looks like he's about 6 or 7-ish. He is sort of looking at you with these very large large eyes. He is sort of like very Studio Ghibli inspired. I can show you artwork for him in a second, but he is totes adorbs. He looks like sort of this very precocious young child who's like standing at the gates of this arcanist talented school. Standing at your side is the headmaster and teacher of this school, Professor Thaddeus, who is this massive blue-furred minotaur. You were found, or actually you found Professor Thaddeus standing sort of amidst the rubble of what remains of one of the most popular haunts in Brecca, the famous bordello known as the Silk Sensations, which very recently, as of the last day and a half, was burnt to the ground in the middle of what appears to be a very violent and brutal fight that took place within, that eventually spilled out into the streets, and by all accounts and rumors that you have heard, or that are spreading in whispers throughout the Rainbow Crown, the attackers were of a demonic nature, infernal, winged, a mixture of Cambion and Abishai. And they were defeated, but at the loss of the Silk Sensations. Also at the loss of one of Professor Thaddeus's favorite places to go to when he is just studying and just sort of going over his manuscripts. It's his own personal, like, Starbucks, like nobody judges. So he invites you back to his school, and you accompany him. Meanwhile, Jal and Ivar, you are still back at the house that once belonged to the former host of the being that now resides within Ivar, the being known as Val. You have shared a very vivid memory that was given to you by your patron, Jal, who you have actually discovered is somewhat more like, it's more like patrons. Like you have multiple patrons within you, because the being who seemed to have many times different voices and different personalities revealed themselves to actually be the different voices of this order of mages known as the Order of the Fading Tower.
Very Avatar: The Last Airbender talking to the past, the past
Yes.
avatars.
Yeah, it's very an apt comparison, truly.
I love it.
Just add to that the fact that Ivar called them out when they were talking about John not being worthy.
Oh, right.
That. I just remembered.
Yeah, your patrons just suddenly just like, hey, if you're not feeling up for it, just give it away.
Yeah. Thank you, buddy.
But Neska, you stand at the doorway of this school as it's being held open to you, and Professor Thaddeus looks down at you. He stands at about almost 7 feet tall, and he is looking down at you and just says, "Would you like to enter?"
I would, yes.
I'm sure that I have some space in my lesson plans for today. I would love to sit and chat with you some more.
I would be delighted. I have questions of my own.
All right. Well, Chance, would you mind fetching us some tea? There's a good lad. Oh yes, I of course, I would love to. And he just sort of like gestures in, and Neska, I'm assuming you enter. Immediately, Chance closes the doorway behind you that seals the gate, and you are locked away forever. No, I'm just kidding. And he scampers off to go and put on a pot of tea. Professor Thaddeus brings you through the courtyard. It's a very sort of lush courtyard. You see some of the older students are currently engaged in the collection of certain seeds and like certain leaves that they're growing, certain herbs in this garden that they are then like putting into a pestle, and I'm assuming that's what it's called, a pestle,
Mortar and pestle.
Mortar and pestle, and they're just muddling it and breaking it up to form like a poultice. It looks like this is an herbalist class that is currently being taught. And you see another supervisor or another teacher sort of like going over each of the students' shoulders as they're sort of examining how they're doing the muddling or the breaking up. And sort of pointing out like, oh, and we add this particular seedling, and we then break that up, and then this will form. And then he just sort of goes off into this long recipe and what this might be used to form some kind of a potion. Professor Thaddeus like brings you into this shaded area that sort of is slightly elevated, like almost like a tiny little hillock of sorts, that has several like large trees on it that give a decent amount of shade that sort of overlook the class. And he gestures there's about 3 seats around this tiny little table. And he gestures at the seat just opposite. You see one seat is actually much larger, so you assume that's his, so you don't go to like take it. But he sits down and he sort of gestures at one of the smaller seats.
Oh, the urge to take the largest seat is so real. No, she won't. But the thought definitely crosses her mind.
Go ahead.
As they're walking through, after noticing that the sigil on the front gate, are there more or similar sigils sort of like around the campus walls or on buildings?
Give me a perception check.
15.
As you look around, you sit down and you sort of just gaze over the class, and you sort of look at the walls of the school. You notice a variety of different things. This school, there are many different teachers that are sort of wandering around, but they seem to be divided up into tiers. There are the teachers who are educators, and then there are the teachers who look like they are guarding the walls of the school. They are wearing sort of they have robes on, but they're cinched in with like these very heavy belts that have hanging from them different scrolls that you see. You also see on what looks to be some kind of like leather armor, they have a sigil that is identical to the one on Jaw's ring and the one that you saw in the door above the door. But you see this symbol sort of spread throughout. Some of the teachers have books that they are carrying that are either journals or they are tomes. You don't know what's in them necessarily, but you do see on the top of them or on the binding on the spine of these books or these tomes the same sigil.
This symbol, it's rather interesting.
It is the symbol of our order. It is an old one. It's one that we don't necessarily advertise widely outside of the walls of our school.
Why not?
Well, it mainly has to do with how few our number is. Our order is an old one that has existed in and around Brecca for hundreds and hundreds of years. And through that time, we have fluctuated in number, given certain violent moments in our history. But currently, we are trying to stay low. Take on a more professorial note. Educators. We're trying to be educators now. Of course, I still try to pursue knowledge in my own way, with my own resources. Sometimes doesn't necessarily work out the way I would like, but we do our best. But tell me, he looks at you very pointedly, Neska. What brings you on tea all the way to this city?
Like you said, things don't always work out the way we want.
I feel like that answer is very vague. Knowing, I apologize if I offend, but knowing a little bit about your people, I would have to say that I'm more than a little curious as to why I am sitting across from one of you.
I was on a mission.
Indeed.
And I was so close to achieving it and being able to return home. I'm sure you know what happened. Yes. With all due respect, for your safety, the details of that mission should be kept to a minimum.
Normally, under the circumstances, I would agree. Given the amount of death and destruction I've seen within the last 2 weeks, I would normally be very reticent to have confidential information shared with me. But yeah, that tack hasn't necessarily been paying out as good as I would wish it. And so I would ask to have you expound on this mission, whatever it was, what it brings you to Brecca. Are you alone? Should we be worried about the presence of Yuan Ti here?
No.
I'm gonna ask this because you were wearing your mask, I believe, before in the street.
I was, and he recognized it as a mask, which no one has ever been able to do before.
Okay. So, if you wouldn't mind, just because I'm feeling very protective right now, you see him, he strikes you very much, even though he is sort of very large and imposing a figure, he strikes you up until this point very much a nerd.
Mm-hmm.
He is a teacher. He's not necessarily going around banging heads, but in this moment, you see him sort of grip the chair that he's sitting in like, just like he's preparing for something, if anything should happen.
Pythonia, as the name she's given, she remains very calm, very collected. She's being very reactive. So once he tenses, so does she. But she's not about to throw the first punch. She's in a place where she can get information for Joel, and she's not willing to compromise that. Whereas if they were still in Ashcaleen before she'd met everyone, she'd be like, all right, let's throw, I'm out. But she glances around to see if anyone else is tensed and sort of is in tune with Professor Thaddeus's physique. I was sent to infiltrate Ashcaleen. There had been rumors of a usurper, and I was sent to investigate.
You see him. You know that gif of Zach Galifianakis from The Hangover, where he's doing all the math and he's doing all the counting of the cards? It's like all of it sort of floating around. That's basically what you see Professor Thaddeus doing right now. Like, he is,
Nice.
You see his eyes sort of like lock in on you. His eyes go over his students. You see him look very pointedly at the guards. And then he comes back to you. So, you're here because I apologize again if this offends. You're here because you failed your mission.
To put it bluntly, yes. I was able to confirm that there was a usurper, but I wasn't able to figure out who. There were several parties in play. And it all came crashing down, literally, before I could do anything about it. So without the full story, without all the information, and the cards stacked in my favor to take the information back home, I failed. My people do not take failure very well. So I fled.
Did you flee alone?
No.
So, I have sitting across from me a UNT spy who is not alone in this city.
I have not said who I fled with.
So what made you decide to come to Brecca?
I didn't really have a say in it. I am also... Let's just be honest, shall we?
After you.
There is one other UNT in this city that I am aware of, and they are with me. There is also a very strong and brave knight. And I don't think your numbers for this organization are as small as you think they are.
He looks around. He looks around the school and he's, respectfully, I would disagree. In fact, our number has gotten considerably smaller since 2 weeks ago. Many of our number met a very tragic end out in the desert.
You did mention an excavation party was slaughtered. My condolences.
I appreciate that.
This secret organization you have is very secret.
Yes.
How do you go about recruiting new members?
Currently, we engage potential recruits, young individuals who show promise in the arcane arts, and we offer to train them, give them a path forward. And over time, we exchange knowledge. With that training, we show them the history of our order and why it is necessary that our order continues. We give them the choice. And after a time, if they decide that our order is not for them, then we allow them to leave, with no strings attached. They retain what magical abilities they have honed while in our tutelage, and if they do decide to stay, that training continues. Why am I getting the sense that you know more than you are saying?
I'm just intrigued. You let students go with no strings attached, with the knowledge of this organization. Doesn't seem very safe.
We allow them to reach a certain point. A certain level. We give them enough.
Just a taste, so to speak.
Yes. A taste. That's an interesting term. But then again, we're not kidnappers. We don't abscond with young peoples and force them into a life of brutal training and servitude, unlike your people.
Yes, I knew that was where that was going.
Our order's been around for quite some time. We've accumulated a lot of knowledge through observation and close and from afar. Our entire order has been geared towards the study of one thing, and I, under my example and my instruction, we've tried to branch out and spread out our influence. Always subtly, never in any overt way.
Of course. That would be detrimental.
Would be.
So is your interest in my people purely personal? Or is there a link? You recognized my mask.
My interest in the Yuan-Ti people primarily stems from your history and how it is currently influencing events in this city. Which is why you probably noticed I wasn't terribly surprised when I saw one of you. But there are certain things that are happening in my city. And you see him slip up when he says my.
I would just,
There are certain things that are happening in my city that hundreds and hundreds of years ago happened to the Yuan Ti people. Things I'm sure you are aware of, knowing your own personal history, but things involving creatures, certain creatures that are... He trails off at this point. And you see him get a very far-off look, sort of a pained expression. Certain things that are happening in my city right now that involve the harnessing of nightmares.
Yes. I've recently discovered they are a stain on my people's history. A war that we should not have lost. We were slaughtered.
So, I don't normally do this, but I can't rule out the possibility that it is only good fortune that I have found myself sitting across from one such as you. A moment such as this is so very rare. I can't just throw it away out of hand.
Agreed.
I'll tell you what. How about you bring your friends here? And we can talk. We can talk more about your presence here and how there are certain things happening within this city that we might be able to work together on.
This city or your city, Professor Thaddeus?
This city.
Of course. I'll tell you something else. While coming to Brecca was not my choice, we brought back Lady Nightmare. You must understand that we had no idea who she truly was when we agreed to be her escorts. We found a widow, still in her wedding dress, when Ashcaleen fell, and we were manipulated into bringing her here. I lost a family heirloom because of that bitch. And given your reaction, your feelings toward her are not passionate. Well, passion can come in many forms. Compassionate, I shall say.
You see the wood of the chair where he is gripping it with his hands suddenly splinter.
I'm revealing that.
He looks at you, and it's as the wood very loudly splinters, suddenly you see the guards. You suddenly see them, Neska. Suddenly these guards come from almost, it appears, out of nowhere. And they are suddenly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these mages, and with each of their hands, suddenly there are these orbs of light, and you see them and he suddenly raises his hand.
I meant no offense.
None taken. You see him just breathe very slowly, sort of gaining composure again. And you see him just nod to the mages that have suddenly materialized almost out of thin air. And suddenly, and they vanish again. And you see them sort of suddenly reappear on, like, in the far extremities of, like, the courtyard. And he says, well, that answers that query. We were wondering how Lady Nightmare returned to Brecca, and now we know.
Trust.
I can't say that I blame you, given your story. It is surprising that one so shrewd as yourself would not have seen it.
We are not perfect creatures. And had I have known who she truly was, I would have poisoned her and thrown her disgusting corpse into the ocean.
I think that before our time is done, we all will wish for that. But I think that my offer still stands. Please bring your friends, partners, to the gates so that we can talk about certain goings-on within the city of Brecca and how we might work together.
I appreciate your generosity.
It's not generosity yet.
I appreciate your time.
At this point, Chance scampers up. He has a large carafe of tea that he you see him, and he said, "Oh, Professor Thaddeus, here's the tea. I'm so sorry it took so long to steep, and then I got wrapped up in a scroll that I was sort of perusing. It was sort of the ancient histories, and you know how I just love it." Yes, Chance, I understand. Please, and he gestures towards the cup that suddenly materializes right next to you, Neska, and then you see a larger teacup that appears next to him, and Chance comes up and he sort of like very nervously just sort of smiles at you, and then he sort of sees Professor Thaddeus' face, and he like reads the room. Oh.
I love him.
And then he sort of, all right. Nice seeing you again. And he runs off. Hold on.
Chance.
I'm going to find his artwork. I have it here.
I love him.
Here we go. Oh no, not that one. Here he is.
I love him even more.
And he scampers off with the carafe. It's sort of like he's nervous, so he's just sort of spilling a little bit as he runs away down the hillock. You see him sort of retreat, and then he comes back and he sort of rejoins the herbalist class that's taking place in the courtyard. People have already tried to kill him multiple times. It hasn't worked.
Good. Not good that they've tried to kill him. Good that they've failed.
Yeah. If you don't mind, I feel very silly calling you by the name that you gave. What is your real name?
What gives you the idea that I gave you a false name?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. It has a lot to do with the fact the insight check I rolled last session was a natural 20.
Oh, God.
So-
Damn. Very well. Know that I kept my name hidden for a reason.
No doubt.
Neska.
That is a name that I could see. Lady Pathonia was too on the nose.
Yes.
Be that as it may, Lady Neska, I have some matters to attend to in the interim, but please take whatever time you need to gather your partners, friends, and I will see you in the next several hours.
Thank you. You don't mind if I stay a moment longer and enjoy this tea?
By all means. And he picks up his very large. It's almost like a giant bowl compared to your teacup, but he has this large sauce plate that he is carrying in one hand. He drinks his tea. It's actually very sad. This tea is tea that I took from the Silk Sensations, and I don't know the next time that I'll be able to enjoy it. My stock is frightfully low at the moment. I'll have to speak to Lady Darcy about that. But anyway, let us take the time, enjoy this tea, and then I will leave you, and I will allow you to contact your friends. You spend the next 10 minutes enjoying this very delightful, almost like a Darjeeling oolong tea. It is very, very flavorful, very caffeinated, and just this very pleasant concoction that sits very warmly in your stomach and calms. Even though it is caffeinated, calms you. The time passes. In the meantime, while that is going on, we will return to our two, actually technically three, but two persons who are currently in the home that belongs to you all. Jal, Ivar, you just have experienced this vision. You've shared this moment together where you have seen a history almost. I was literally thinking the exact same thing. It looks like Victor's walking through a nightclub. I was looking for like an odd strobe all of a sudden.
There's in a Prince music video.
Apologies for the lights. I'm adjusting where I'm living.
No, you're totally fine. It looks really cool.
You look very astral projection right now.
Exactly.
After sharing this sort of vision, everything kind of going back to a sort of natural state, y'all kind of look back and forth to Ivar and Yonshu, who both witnessed this huge revelation.
Actually, Yonshu didn't witness it. It was only you and Ivar.
Alrighty. So then he turns to Ivar after this big revelation of what Jal's ring means, what that means that he is, where it all came from, and all this stuff. And there's that awkward pause, and they meet eyes, and Jal looks at Ivar and says, What? We good?
Yes,
All
I
right.
suppose.
So yeah, we gotta help keep the end of the world under wraps. And apparently, this is gonna help. However, smaller problems. I think we need to find Neska. Because if she stayed out longer than I did, something's wrong.
I am torn, trying to debate whether it's a good choice to leave the one location we all can convene to, or whether or not it's best to depart and risk moving in a direction opposed to where she may come from.
Yeah. And let's be honest, if she was trying not to be hidden, I ain't gonna find her, that's for damn sure.
Sir DM, would are things like sending stones and things like that common in, like, would we be familiar with things like sending stones, or are the devices similar to sending stones?
I mean, you do know what sending stones are. You do know that they are common in certain circles. Not everyone has access to them. They're not like, you can't just go to like the nearest Sprint store and just actually Sprint. That's a dated reference. You can't go to the nearest Verizon
Radio Shack.
and Radio Shack. There's an even more dated reference. God, fun fact: I worked for Radio Shack for 7 years. And then I left before they went out of business. And I was a wireless consultant working for them, and I was the one who sold all of their cell phones to everyone.
So what you're saying
That's
is that
it.
we're looking for a sending stone shack.
No,
Stone Shack.
I'm not a stone shack. I will say, during this time, Neska, you leave the school. You very quickly get your bearings. You realize that this school, which is also, if I can reference the map of Brecca, you see that the school is also located within the Shadow Way. It's actually not that far away from where your house is. It's slightly further north and west. But as you very quickly figure out like your sort of like location, because you figured out like how far you went from the Rainbow Crown when you were looking at the Silk Sensations, the source of the smoke. You made your way and you figured out, okay, these landmarks are starting to look familiar. I know my way around now because I've sort of moved through the streets a little bit. And you quickly find your way home. Just as Jal and Ivar are sort of like going through the process of thinking through like, where do we need to go find Neska? Suddenly there's the knock, the knock that you guys have worked out on the door to let anyone in the house know that the person outside the house knocking is also a person that should be in the house.
Yonshu is with us, right?
He is, but he is in the garden area. He's not currently in the same room as you.
Gotcha. But yeah, if we hear the knock on the door, which is the familiar knock, I think Ivar just kind of has a moment where sort of looks at Jal and that sort of like, okay, that seems like that would be her. And he moves toward the door.
Okay. Follows close behind.
You guys open the door. Neska is standing there. Neska, you enter. How do you enter? Like in like what state of mind, what frame of mind are you? Like coming, you've walked all the way around the city, and in that space of time, you have learned a lot.
So once she's finished the tea, and with the calming effect, she's got a clear mind, but also with the caffeinated thing, she wants to move. So she nods politely to anyone who acknowledges her as she leaves the school, and then faster than a normal walking pace, but not so much to draw attention, she'll take a very obscure, very roundabout way to make sure that she's got no tails. And then once she gets closer and closer to home, she'll just go back to a normal walking pace to again avoid any suspicion, and then just enter the house as though she's been there her whole life.
Since Jal never gets to do this, he's going to look at Neska and just go, "Where have you been?" And he, like, mage hands are going to pop up to like analyze and see if she's hurt or anything, because she's got a thing about physical touch. So he's using mage hand to, like, see like if everything is, okay, like lifting her arm, checking it, like moving her hair to see if she's got any bruises or bumps or anything. Meanwhile, just giving a lecture of like, "We were worried sick. You've been gone forever. I've been sitting here. Your Ivar over there has been worried sick, pacing this floor all night."
I have not.
with you, and just keeps going the whole way, and just like a big long spiel that essentially means nothing, but he's happy that he gets to do that because usually he's the one getting in trouble.
No, I love that.
Yonshu, hearing
You're
you
muted.
enter,
Yeah.
Neska comes back in and like sees the mage hand just sort of working and like moving like what have you been? I was worried sick. Are you okay?
Worried sick. Puts his hands on his hips.
She plays along with it for a moment, and then she'll slap the mage hands away. "I'm fine, Mum. I actually met several people, who would like to meet us."
That's not a good thing. Nobody should want to meet us. Have you met
Want
us?
to meet us?
I'll don the mask. He knew what I was,
Interesting.
and then take it off.
Who is he?
A large minotaur. Professor Thaddeus.
Very hard.
I met him outside the Silk Sensations. That was
Why were you-
destroyed in a devilish fight.
Oh, that is. You see, like, this flurry of emotions sort of cross over Yonshu's face, which is very uncharacteristic, but is becoming more characteristic as you guys have spent time with him and with Neska. It's like someone who is fiercely protective of Neska. Also, why is Neska wandering the city and somehow ending up in front of a
Well established.
a well-established sex workers location? Why was it burned to the ground? And also, why is she hanging out with large minotaurs? Like, what's going on?
So, in layman's terms, what you're saying, a big horny guy picked up a little girl outside of a very hot nightclub.
Joel,
A very hot nightclub.
Tell me I'm wrong.
You are not wrong.
Thank you.
Oh,
Look,
God.
Ivar, I'm not wrong.
Ivar is just. Mm-mm.
Why do you let me on your
Just-
show?
he
Do
doesn't.
not worry.
This does not help Yonshu's anxiety.
Neska lets him panic for just that split second longer. Everything had already concluded by the time I got there. I saw residual smoke. Curiosity got the better of me.
You have to be very careful, Neska. We do not know this city at all. And it seems like our presence in it gets more precarious as each hour passes.
Not to mention that was quite in fact the site that you saw exactly how powerful she was too. That's where Fatima Lux died.
Yes.
Actually, technically, you don't know.
Oh, no, I don't know that.
Yeah.
I wasn't there for that.
I wasn't sure if she knew that, but even
No,
still,
that was
Jal
on
totally
your-
wouldn't know that she knew.
Yeah.
That was on your walkthrough.
Yeah, this is also she didn't die at you don't know that she died at the Silk Sensations. You do know that she died in the Golden Crescent. At this in the bazaar.
I will stick with what I said, saying that it was an assumption.
Mm-hmm.
That is fair.
Someone as strong as Fatima was slain.
Yeah, apparently you get enough demons in one location, and they can do a number on somebody who can take out, how many was it? 4, 6 assassins all at the same time? Not to mention everything that she pulled, in the other world.
Yes.
Lindsay's ears are going to be burning right now.
Well, it may or may not be our fault entirely that certain events have happened in Brecca. We know that we were played by the Nightmare bitch. Bringing her back started things. So that is on our heads. But also, Jal, your ring. There is an entire organization with that exact symbol.
Listen, I just learned about that like 3.5 minutes ago. How long have you been here?
I just walked in the door.
Where did you learn about it?
Is this interaction tickling Ivar in any way right now?
I think Ivar is following this, and he's just, in his mind, he's like, we have to keep things on track. So as the whole, like, where did you learn? What did you learn? He tries to recap what he has heard Neska say. And when Jal is like, where did you learn it? Ivar just chimes in as he goes,
The Minotaur. Why does he want to meet us?
Because you and he are not found here. So my presence caught his attention. And he wanted to meet my companions. Friends and partners. To quote.
Usually people only want to meet us because they want us dead.
Do you
That's not untrue.
No.
Neska, you met this Minotaur. What do you think?
They are powerful. They know more than what they're letting on. But they're more concerned about the knowledge of this organization. And the Nightmares are a threat to that knowledge.
We all get along because we don't like the Nightmares.
It's more than enough, and something tells me that we may need allies before this battle is over.
The enemy of my enemy.
Indeed.
He's a hot Minotaur, is what I'm hearing. The enemy of my enemy.
I would not go that far.
All right, fine. Ruin my fantasies. Okay, so when are we?
Look, if you wish to ride the bull, as I've heard so many phrases.
Ooh, that is no way for a lady to talk. I am.
Yonshu chuckles.
He looks at Yonshu and goes, "Did you teach her that?"
She learned that all on her own.
Goodness. So when are we doing this? Can I take a nap?
Ivar is tapping on the pommel on his sword, on his sheathed sword. Just listening to this is just.
We have several hours.
Great. And then he turns and finds wherever he's been sleeping, and he goes there because your boy still has 2 levels of exhaustion.
Oh, shoot. Oh, I forgot about the exhaustion. My perception should have been technically at disadvantage. Oopsies.
It technically should have been.
It was still a 15.
I will say I will give you the next 2 hours as a short rest, so you can reroll any hit point dice that you might need to gain back.
Please hold. Your short rest is important to us.
Yay, we're fully healed and we have spells again.
This short rest brought to you by D&D Beyond.
D&D Beyond, everybody.
Short rest doesn't give me spells back, so
It gives me spells
Gives
back.
me key points.
yeah, good for you. Good for you both. You enjoy your 2-hour nap. I'll take watch.
But a 2-hour nap doesn't get rid of exhaustion.
No, it does not. Let's see here. Okay. So during this period, you still have 2 levels of exhaustion, so your speed is halved, and you have disadvantage on ability checks. Okay. The time passes. You rest. Yonshu just sits up with Ivar. He just joins him on watch. You have been... you are not the most big talker. Is that a phrase? You're not the...
Yes.
You don't talk as much as everyone. But you have been very silent ever since we came out of Neska's mind. I'm sure it's probably weighing very heavily on you, considering that the being that we faced in her mind was also at least a different one, but a similar being was inside you as well.
The idea of a creature such as that being unleashed by the dozens or the hundreds more than one capable of tormenting one individual. 'Tis a fate darker that I can fathom. And then we return to find that we have lost time. Something that I fear we have little of, and yet I have no way to find out if anything significant occurred during that time that may or may not change the outcome of this battle that we are facing.
Yonshu thinks for a moment. Do you think that we will... Do you think we will make it out of this? Whatever it is that we are facing? Do you think that we're ready?
Those are two different things. We can be ready and perish. We can be not ready and survive. I don't know, Yonshu. But I'd like to think that we are going to try our best. And I need to believe that it's going to make a difference.
Neska shared with me briefly of your shared experience when you vanished. You left this world, or this version of it, and you saw a different Brecca. You saw a different world. A possible world. Was I there?
No.
Sort of nods his head.
Does it matter?
No, does not.
Does it trouble you?
It is beyond my control. So no, I'm just happy that Neska was safe. And she was with friends. Looks like it's about that time. Should I'll wake up Neska and you wake up Jal?
Ira has a moment that is quiet. He's just looking at Yonshu. Very unreadable expression, just like very neutral.
You're a good soldier, Yonshu. And not necessarily because of your skill, but because your passion does not lie at the grip of the sword. It lies with those you care for.
I will take that as a compliment. From one
You should.
soldier to another. Yonshu gets up and he goes over to where Neska is sleeping, and he very gently just... At first he just looks down at your face, Neska, and sort of sees you just breathing. And then he just very lightly just puts his hand on your shoulder. Neska? It's time to be rising.
Neska puts her hand over his and, like, recognizing his voice, gives it a bit of a squeeze. And then sort of twists his hand to the other side as if, like, help me up.
He helps you up. Grabs you by the forearm and just sort of like helps you rise.
Just look at him for a moment. And he can see that there is guilt all over her face. She did not hear any of the conversation that he just had with Ivar. It's the guilt that she has brought him to this city where crap is literally hitting the fan, and it's partially her fault, and she feels responsible for endangering him. When she tried so hard to save him from Ashcaleen, she's just brought him from one dangerous situation into another.
Are you trying to cover up that look at all?
Yeah, she is. But, like, that's the cause of her guilt.
Give me a deception check.
Oops, disadvantage. 8.
Even at disadvantage, he rolled a 16.
Oh, he's very insightful.
Uh,
He knows her.
He sort of doesn't let go of your arm, and he doesn't bring you closer, but he does take his other hand and he puts it underneath your chin, sort of like brings your face just up, just a little bit, looking up at him. What was that? Just now? You looked sad.
Thank you. My skills are slipping.
I think you're just probably very tired.
Perhaps. I am sorry. Yonshu.
What?
For the dangers I dragged you through in Ashcaleen. For endangering you on the ships with the dwarves. We do not have the strongest of relationships with them. And for bringing you to Brecca, where everything gets more and more dangerous. No matter what I seem to do.
Neska, I think you're giving yourself way too much credit. You brought me, in a way, but just remember, you saved my life. I would not be alive if you hadn't brought me. I would be either dead or some vampire's thrall in Ashcaleen. It is only because because you're a rule breaker that I am here now. You broke all of the rules that we taught you. And you saved my life, and you brought me, and I think I'm better off for it. And I know that we seem to be jumping from one fire into another fire into another fire, but with his hand still underneath your chin, just sort of looking very deeply into your eyes, he says, I would not trade any of it, any of the experiences, not for the world. I am very happy with my lot and where I find myself. I have friends. And you are
The
with me.
red of Neska's scales on her face deepen.
Yonshu notices that.
Yeah.
I am very optimistic that we are going to get through this. I feel like we have more friends and allies than we had before we came to Brecca. At least from what you have told me. I think we're going to be okay. Don't ask me how I know that. one of the side effects of being with all of you is that I'm learning humor, and I have more emotional capacity than I did before, and I'm turning into somewhat of a foolish optimist, it would seem. I blame Jal.
I think Jal.
He does have that uncanny ability to rub off on everyone he comes in contact with.
Yes. Well, if you believe it, then so do I.
So we're off to see a blue-furred minotaur then?
Yes.
I must confess I've never seen a blue-furred minotaur.
It was a first for me as well.
Right. I will, as we leave, I will set some alarms and traps so that our house is not broken into while we are gone.
Yes, does she? Yeah, he does. Okay. As Yonshu says that and goes to move away, and like if his hand is still there, she'll like grip it, and then lean forward and give him like the softest kiss, like not fully on the lips, but like just to the side.
He is. Well, no, it happens. He is going to stop, and he turns his head just to look at you, and he sees you just like that close to him, and he sort of flashes you a smile, and he gives your hand a squeeze, like a reassuring one, and he, on the opposite cheek, gives you the same kiss that you just gave him. Going over to Ivar and
contrasting to all of that.
No kisses for Jal.
All of this is happening.
Ready for my close-up, Victor.
Ivar literally, it's like all of this is happening. It's like the camera
just slaps you in
suddenly
the face.
just like sees like the legs of Ivar falling, like moving away from the scene with Neska and Yonshu, and Ivar literally gets to where Jal is sleeping, puts his foot on the side of his body and just pushes so like he just falls to the side and wakes up, and it's just, we have to go.
No.
Get in, loser. We're going shopping.
5 more minutes, Paladin Daddy.
5 more hours. This rest was not long at all. I am still exhausted, and I'm not talking about game terms, I promise.
You see Ivar grabs his shield and literally just like stomps it on the ground right next to your face.
Just kind of like opens his eyes, sees a shield, looks right up at you and goes, "Ugh, you're insufferable," and starts to get up.
I could say the same.
Yeah, but you didn't. Just starts to get ready, and by get ready, just kind of like very disheveled, looks in the mirror, runs his fingers through his hair, and goes,
Oh,
prestidigitation, and makes prestidigitation to make himself look as presentable as he can. Just like hair where it's supposed to be, clean up the dirt, fix the clothes and everything. Goes, all right, I'm ready. The equivalent of a guy rolling out of bed, putting on pants, and being like, all right, let's go to whatever formal function we need to go to.
Ivar looks at you after you do the prestidigitation, looks you up and down, and so it goes, oh, and just walks away.
No, you listen here. And he follows after him, and just, we're not going to get into the monologue, but he's just going right after Ivar the whole time.
I think one of the things that Ivar is going to point out to the group is,
very well, Neska, we will follow your lead. However, since you and Yonshu are quite skilled with your acrobatics and your stealth, I suggest not all of us depart through the front door. I say we depart, take different routes, and reconvene 1-2 streets from here That way, those of you who can take higher grounds can also keep an eye in case some of us may be being followed.
Yeah, and also we should definitely watch out for yellow cloaks because Ivar, you and I know, called no-showed, and they're very mad at us. So, yeah.
At this point, Yonshu just sort of looks at everyone and says, all right, so different passages or different paths to take. I will, if you all agree, I will booby-trap the house just in case anybody tries to enter falsely that we are not aware of.
I agree with this.
Okay. All right. While you all leave through different, at different times, like you spread it out, you stagger, you're leaving, and you stagger like where you exit from. Yonshu is going to take the next 20 minutes, and he is going to fully rig this house with, we'll just say he rigs the house. And he very soon after just follows, given the directions that Neska has given. Again, you guys aren't actually that far away from where this school is located. Remind me, Neska, did you actually directly tell? I would like to point out actually two things. Did you actually tell Jal that there is a school with an insignia that is directly, like it is the symbol that is directly on his ring?
Didn't I say that?
Not really. Like, just that
It-
there
But
is. Oh yeah, there's
Yeah.
just that there's a whole order of.
There's a whole
Organization.
organization,
There's
and
an
then you said,
organization.
"I
Yeah.
just learned this a few minutes
With
ago."
your sigil. Yeah, and you were
Right.
like, what? Yes.
Okay, but I would like to point out, you did not say anything about Jal or his ring to Professor Thaddeus.
I did
No.
not.
You mentioned Yonshu, or you mentioned the person of Yonshu, and you mentioned the person of Ivar, a knight.
And I said
But you-
another friend.
Did you, though?
Yes.
Okay.
I
I'm
got
sorry if I
friends on-
I
misinterpreted.
think I did.
I
meant to.
misinterpreted that as Yonshu, like you were referencing Yonshu.
You
I didn't
mentioned
think-
because you mentioned two people, but she before that already mentioned that there's another Yuan-Ti in
Another
this
Yuan-Ti,
place,
and then
and
two
it's with
people.
me.
Yeah,
Oh,
so one more
okay.
UNT with me, a knight, and another friend. Is that what I said?
I think
Okay.
those things were kind of separate, so there is the possibility of like maybe he.
But you
thought it
did
was
not.
just two
You did not go into any specifics about this other friend. You just said
No,
Yeah.
I kept Jal as bland and as anonymous as possible for Jal's safety.
got it.
Allow me
Because
to
if
ruin
Jal
that.
said, if Jal said I'm not interested, I don't want to go, I don't trust it, then Neska would be like, cool, they know nothing of you, they cannot come after you.
Mm-hmm.
Even
Okay.
though she gave away herself.
You all meet up at different times, but you all arrive at this school at the front gate. And you see Yonshu arrive last. He says, "May the gods look favorably, hopefully, on whoever tries to pass into our home. Unwanted. It will be a very short visit for them."
I'm torn between being scared and impressed.
Well, I haven't had an opportunity to do it in a long time. In fact, the last time I did it was when I left our safe house, well, my safe house in Ashcaleen, before I got bitten. But
Don't worry, buddy. It's just like riding a bike.
Yonshu, if these are triggered, What would happen to the house?
Well, a couple of different things. First, there would be a gaseous emission, which would blind the person, which would then be followed by several darts to the face and chest, filled with a certain type of poison of my own design.
Just raises the hand, sort of like to stop you from divulging all the stuff. He just like,
I just want to know if the house will be safe.
Oh, yes. Structurally, the house will remain perfectly intact, just not the person who enters it.
good. That's all he needed to know.
As you're having this conversation, the door opens. The gate opens to the school, and you see Professor Thaddeus standing at the entrance. And he stands there with open arms and says, 2 hours hence, as promised. Very punctual.
We had an agreement.
Indeed. Very interesting grouping of people. And his eyes sort of just falls 1, 2, 3, 4. As his eye falls on Jal,
Here we go.
we will take our break.
Oh!
And we're back. We have the gates of this school opened to us. Jal, as you are at the gate, you also see the symbol of the that is on your ring. And just because technically you created this ring before I did, what is this symbol? What does the symbol look like?
Uh-oh. Well, not that one. We're just gonna cover that.
Also, that's copyrighted.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's just inverted. It's one line with two circles.
You can't. Okay, I get you now. All right, I was gonna say if you invert, it's the same image.
Oh, no, sorry. Okay, probably the wrong word. I'll shut up.
You're fine. You're fine.
God damn it, Victor.
You know what?
Taylor, don't look at the character art section. That would.
That is the best.
I'm so happy.
Ah.
I apologize for nothing.
Oh, can I make that my desktop? Can I make that my background?
You do you, girl.
Oh, I love
Christ.
it.
It was worth it.
Oh, I love it.
I am going to say, can I bring up like paint really quick? So I like in my brain, I want to, because it's kind of my go-to creatively when I'm trying to make symbols, is to try to somehow utilize runic in there and somehow make a bind room that goes with what I'm thinking for what this is. So it's a conglomeration of different symbols. Let's see if I can find one. Images. We're gonna go not that one. Not that one. Who's made some good ones? I don't want to take up too much time with this, but we're gonna do that one. We're just gonna copy image and character art fits pasta.
Nice.
So it's kind of a sort of to the viewers, it's kind of a diamond shape with a straight line going all the way north to south through it, with another line going off to the right from the top of the center line. Yeah, I know what it means. Jal doesn't.
Okay, thank you for sending me that image. That's actually very helpful.
Yes. World building.
Hold on one quick second. We shall see.
Please hold. Your world building is important to us.
This is
You
exactly. So I basically
You do
took
so good
in
that
queue.
voice.
I took a series of images and I'm basically combining them all
Ooh.
into something that we are about to see.
Oh no. What have I done?
I'm more worried about what Neska's dragged Joel into.
I am gonna back up, Taylor. You do that voice too good. Like people need to hire you for their.
Thank you. Reach out. I'm happy to do it.
Ever, I start a company and I need somebody to record the automated messaging service.
I volunteer.
Bang.
You see this symbol, and it causes you to do almost a double take because you're just like,
Not almost a double take, for sure.
it's
and
just for
embarrassingly
sure. Like
so.
you almost break your neck. It's just like
just
Not subtle at all.
Jal is not subtle. This is what has
I love that about him.
prevented him for a lot of things with Neska and Yonshu. He is not sneaky. He is not dark or anything. He's literally bright and glows and flies places. You can't
love
sneak
him.
doing that.
yes. This is what it looks like, or some variation thereof.
I'm gonna. Oh my.
At different
It's
times,
so
depending
beautiful.
on the spell that is used, you see different parts of the rune are suddenly more highlighted than others to reflect. You're not entirely sure, but different facets of magic. Whether you're conjuring or you are using whatever school you're using, certain facets of the ring suddenly glow a brighter green.
I love that. I love that more than you realize.
But you see Professor Thaddeus spreading his arms, just welcoming you all in, and you see his gaze just sort of flit from each person. He very briefly looks at you, Neska, and nods, just sort of an acknowledgement. You have done what you said you would do. You have come back. Money was on you not, but well done in keeping your half your part of the agreement. Passes on to IVAR. There is a nod of respect. Almost doesn't fully see Yonshu. Yonshu is sort of like standing slightly behind Jal and IVAR. But then he sees Yonshu and quick nod, acknowledgement. Yes, Neska was telling the truth. And then his eyes alight upon the emerald adorned human male that is standing with this group. And he sees Jal's dress. He sees the ring that is on Jal's finger, unless Jal is making any move to hide the ring.
Oh no, because he's stupid and has to confirm that the symbol that he's seeing on the wall is in fact the same one on the ring. Huh? Unless somebody tells him otherwise.
Yeah. Very interesting. Please, all of you, welcome. Welcome within our walls. May you find rest here for as long as you choose to stay.
Jal is kind of, looks towards Neska. We've been following her lead here, just kind of, yeah. Right. We go in. Respite sounds great.
Yes. I'll just walk in any direction. Or
So
just
you
continue
walk
in the path.
The courtyard is actually completely barren at this point. There are no students here currently. It appears that whatever class was being held when you were here last, Neska, has finished, obviously, and it looks like the students are done for the day and have either gone home or they have taken on whatever tasks next was following that class.
And was Thaddeus genuinely surprised that I did return? Like, could I have
You see
discerned
sort of
that?
this very sort of like pleasantly surprised, pleased expression on his face. And so you enter into this school. You don't immediately see them, but Neska, you get the vaguest of senses that while you might not be able to see them, the guards are around. Yonshu also sort of gives you a nod, Neska, and as he sort of like flicks his head to the right and to the left, just very subtly, so only you really notice, just directing your focus so that you are aware that while Thaddeus appears to be alone, you are not alone. This is a very
I acknowledge it with my own nod.
This is
Sorry.
a very interesting group of people. I seem to be encountering interesting groups of people quite frequently now. Interesting. Perhaps there's a meaning there that is hidden from me. His eyes once more fall upon you, Jean. I don't mean to be rude, but how did you come by that? And he gestures at your hand at the ring.
Jaw kind of thinks for a moment. I mean, from Ashcaleen across the way. Don't visit anytime soon, but walking in the market one day, little stall, some nice jewelry going about, and picked it up. 5 silver, quite a steal.
His face is very clearly like, this could be 100% true, and he still doesn't know if he believes you. It seems far too fantastical that a ring, and he sees you looking around and noticing the symbol all over.
So, like, was this somebody's class ring, maybe? Did they misplace it or have to pawn it, or,
Do you
I heard
mind
some-
if I hold this ring?
Yes.
Why is that?
Well, I mean, I don't know what you guys would do to your classrooms here, Teach, but I mean, I do use it to, a couple little fun spells and things here, and dramatically prestidigitates a bunch of like green sparks in the air, like, ta-da!
He holds his hand up, and suddenly there is a series of magical runes that materialize in the air, and then suddenly they sparkle away, and he has an identical ring to the one that you have. It is very interesting that you have that ring in your possession. I was not aware that one of our order had made it across the sea to Nimrion.
Holiday season. I don't know, man. And like at that point just kind of breaks his listen, man, didn't really know who it was that gave this to me. Just
This ring was given to you willingly.
yeah, I didn't buy it. I mean, I'll at least tell you that you were apparently straight with Neska, and Neska's an excellent judge of character, except for me. But yeah, somebody didn't really know them, needed help. I helped them. They said, you know, oh, well, thanks for your trouble. And then I got this ring, and well, like and he prestidigitates again, the exact same pose and everything. It's listen, if you're wearing one, you kind of know what it does. It saved my life on more than one occasion. So yeah, no, I'm not gonna let you hold it.
I'll have that ring from you right now.
You see Ivar goes ahead and stands right between the Minotaur and Jarl, and it just rests the shield right in front of him.
Jarl will just kind of shimmy to one side so he can kind of look around Ivar, because I'm pretty sure Ivar is a lot taller than Jarl. And it's just he's gonna look at the professor and just go, I'd like to know how you're gonna try to do that. You gonna learn me something, teach?
Lady Neska, I apologize for what I might be about to do. Just know this. Your companion has in his possession a very powerful magical item. One that I would hazard he doesn't actually know how to use. This is an artifact that potentially has been lost for many hundreds of years, as it was stolen. And I would at least like to confirm something about that ring. Am I going to have a problem with your human?
You're human?
Jarl, with all due respect, Professor Thaddeus, we came with good intentions to talk. We will not take threats lightly.
Give me a perception check.
Oh, come on! One of them was a nat 20.
Ivar is holding an action.
To be frank, so is Jarl.
Perception 9, 12.
I'll say just do a straight roll, because I'll say that you can do this with advantage given that Yonshu has already gestured in the direction of certain things.
Okay. I will re-roll. That's a natural 16 for a 19.
Okay. Suddenly, stepping out from the shadows and into the light, 5 mages adorned very similarly
Gotcha.
to
Worcestershire sauce.
Professor
No,
Thaddeus,
no.
all step out and have you surrounded. Yonshu immediately pulls, like, from their sheaths at his side, like his 2 daggers, and just sort of is prepping. Neska, I don't think they are going to be very friendly towards us right now. Say something to your friend, or else something bad is going to happen.
Ivar's right hand is resting on the sheathed sword. His left hand is holding on that shield in front of him, and he's just taking inventory of every person there. Ivar
Shall-
is
Oh.
holding it. Yeah,
Sorry, no, you go. No.
But yeah, if Ivar were to perceive any of these people attempting to like make a move, he will channel his divinity. That's what I'm gonna say for now.
Okay. What action
Professor
is
Thaddeus.
Jal holding?
Oh.
Well, before I go there, Neska a moment ago said jaw, and I'd like to hear where that goes.
Neska was just saying, like, don't get argumentative. Like, you're human. Like, just calm down. Usually it's Neska the one that's starting to argue and bite back.
Ooh, the
Character
shoe
growth,
really is on
everybody.
the other foot, isn't it? This is fun.
Yeah. What is happening today? If this ring went missing hundreds of years ago, Jarl is not the thief. He should not be treated as such.
I
If
never
you
said he was a
wish-
thief. I just said that I would have that ring. It is a long-lost artifact of our order. I would have it just to examine it. Just to see if he is worthy.
Your mages is not taking the ring off. And as far as I know, he has proven himself worthy, not just of that ring, but of my respect. You want to test the ring? Find a different way.
Give me an intimidation check.
Oh boy!
Oh, come on. What's with the dice today for me, man? This happened in the last session. That's
Are you
a
doing it
one.
at- Oh, did you roll at disadvantage?
No,
But it wasn't that one
it
anyway.
wasn't that one, so it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Total of 10,
Total
which is nuts.
The Minotaur in front of you, Ivar, doesn't flinch. He sort of looks around at his other mages that he has with him. I'm fairly certain that if it came to blows, we would make short work of you.
Question is, do you think you'll be the one standing last?
Oh.
Gentlemen.
Give me another intimidation check at disadvantage.
I bloody exhaustion.
It's goddamn exhaustion. 17.
Now who's rolling that once? His eyes leave Jal for a second and fixate on you, Ivar, as he takes stock of like every item on you. He sees your armor with its silvery glow. He sees the shield. He sees your sword.
I'll actually add to that intimidation. Ivar is wearing the rags that he put on top of his armor. I mean, at this close range, he would be able to spot it. But part of the thing is his shield is in front of him, and his right hand, which is his sword hand, is on the handle. But the sword itself is basically hidden underneath the shield.
Oh.
So he wouldn't even be able to know how far out that blade is out from the sheath.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's that close and he has the shield basically like covering what the right hand is doing.
Okay.
And his eyes are staring at this Minotaur with like, there's no rage, there's no anger. It's that sort of like certainty of like, you may think that you may take us down, but I know for a fact that I can take you.
You're basically Clint Eastwooding him right now.
Pretty much.
You gotta ask yourself, do I feel lucky? Well, do you?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Professor Thaddeus, his eyes sort of study you, Ivar, and he takes a step back. He looks at Yonshu, sees like Yonshu is like coiled, ready to like strike. Jal doesn't at the moment look like he's, again, he's just going off of face value alone. He doesn't know how
Jal's
skilled
very
you are.
relaxed in his posture.
All he sees is sort of Jal, just very relaxed, standing behind Ivar. What is Neska doing?
Neska is trying to remain calm. So like her upper body is relaxed and very composed, but her stance has shifted to essentially take the dodge action. But she's trying to remain civil. Ladies and gentlemen, and she's eyeing all the mages around us as well. Perhaps we can come to a middle ground. The ring can be examined, but it does not leave Jal's possession.
You see Professor Thaddeus take 2 steps back from Ivar, and his muscles relax. Very well, Jal. That is your name.
Oh yeah, shit, Neska said his name.
Jal kind of listening to Neska. You know, I have half a mind to show you exactly how worthy of this ring that I actually am. However, my compatriot here has a very good point. We're supposed to be here looking for allies. So, why don't we start this over again? Huh, Teach? You want to take a quick look at the ring? Sure. Let me take a look at yours.
There is a very brief moment where you can sort of see a look pass across his face where he's seriously considering teaching you a couple things. He lowers his hand, and the 5 other mages wordlessly step back into the shadows. I'm sorry if my overenthusiasm got the best of me in this moment. The ring you have on your finger is hundreds and hundreds of years old. There's no doubt in my mind that it had had many owners, some of which could be unworthy, could be worthy. But for whatever reason, you are wearing it. And that ring belonged to a very ancient member of our order.
In that moment, Jal's gonna kind of nod and go, "You referring to Videl Beziet?"
You say the name, and immediately Professor Thaddeus just looks, and his eyes sort of widen, in sort of astonishment. And so you know of Videl.
Yeah, and all of his roommates.
Fuck. You see there is a flicker of, like, suddenly he almost might reach across over Ivar and like grab you,
Oh, fucking try.
and he thinks better of it.
He's still some distance away, correct?
Yes, like,
Okay.
but he's large. Like,
Right.
he's almost 7 feet tall. And it's not a respect thing. Like, Jaw's just, his operating mode is disrespectful. But
He
it
has
is one of those
problems with
things where
authority.
it is one of those things where it is the thirst for new knowledge or knowledge that is sort of the driving factor behind Professor Thaddeus's actions, and he sees Jaw as an obstacle to that. And you see him think better of it again. So you're telling me that you have spoken to them. They are there in this ring.
Oh, yeah.
You see him just doing math, like all of this math. Like, this is for them, for Professor Thaddeus in this moment. This is the equivalent of finding the great library of Alexandria completely intact, not burned and destroyed and lost. This is everything, and yet it is, in his mind, on the wrong person's hand.
Yep, indeed. Watching him process. Oh, go ahead.
If you will allow, Whitehair, I would like to examine this ring closely.
Ivar just literally turns his head lightly and just goes, Jal?
Jaw's going to put a hand on Ivar's shoulder and kind of nod and step around him, getting right up to Professor Thaddeus, looking up at his 7-foot-tall frame. As he's looking up, just
Ivar takes like a slight step back to make sure that Jal has space. But Ivar's posture with his hand sort of hidden between robe and shield has not changed.
Okay. Professor Thaddeus is going to bring his head very closely to the ring, and he is going to investigate it. And he's just going to start, and if you'll allow, he's going to take his hand and start to turn your hand as he is sort of looking over the ring.
Even though he's being a dick, Jal is, he genuinely has questions about this ring.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to offer the help action.
Okay.
So, yes, cooperating in this moment. He's like turning the hand over. He's not resisting, allowing him to kind of see whatever it is. The only thing that he won't do at this time is take the ring off or allow it to be taken off.
Okay. Professor Thaddeus turns over and he sees that you're turning your hand over and giving him like multiple viewings of the ring. And as he touches the ring, you see his ring glows with like this bright, intense green light. Almost this white, like a white green, like a minty colored. And you see You just study this, and his like you see like his breathing just sort of quicken in this moment.
Just as a little thing, Jal is paying extra close attention just in case any voices from the ring are speaking up as this is happening. Because for all I know, they'd be like, "Take your hand away right now, young man."
You hear Videl's voice in your head, Jal. Oh, very interesting how we find ourselves here. I would listen to what this one has to say, but given what you have spoken in terms of our agreement recently, do not let this ring out of your sight.
Wouldn't dream of it, buddy.
I'm going to also say that Jal is going to hear in his mind. If you need me, say the word, as I'm establishing mind link with Jal.
Okay. Neska, you feel Yonshu's presence just closer behind you as he is moving closer to Jal and Ivar.
Given that Ivar, I'm assuming, is standing very protectively near Joel, I'm trusting Ivar to do that. And I'm trying to keep a lookout for the other mages, for any hint of aggression that, even though Joel and Thaddeus have come to a tense agreement, whether this is a trap or something. I'm just on the lookout.
Give me a perception check.
Don't you help for a straight roll?
Sure.
Yay! Nah, doesn't matter. 5.
From what you can tell, Neska, it's almost like they vanished into, like they became one with the shadows, almost invisible.
I'm also going to say that Ivar's hold action currently is he's keeping an eye on the wrist of Thaddeus's hand
Ring hand?
that has the
Okay.
ring.
Okay.
Gonna get very Skywalker up in here.
Thaddeus turns the hand over, turns it back, turns it over, turns it back. He's studying the rune. I do not mean to be insulting, but I'm wondering what Videl saw in you. How long have you had this ring?
It's been... Andy, help me. Like, I thought, didn't we say like 2 years?
Yeah. A year and a half?
Okay. Yeah, not a terribly long time, but
Yeah.
so yeah, he's gonna say a little bit over a year.
And you found this in a marketplace.
Oh no, that was a bold-faced lie because I wasn't sure if I could trust you. No, I'm at the other thing where somebody told me, or like I helped somebody and they gave it to me. That's the one that happened.
What did that person look like?
Andy, what did that person look like? I forget. It's been such a long time.
Hold on one second.
Because I'm fairly certain they weren't human.
No, I believe they were elvish.
It
Or elven.
sounds correct.
Was the person who you received the ring from, were they wearing it, or were they just in possession of it?
I believe in possession of it, right?
Yeah, they were not wearing the ring.
Right. They pulled it from a pocket. It was not on their hand.
What hardships have you endured since possessing the ring?
I mean, Not too long ago, my home city became reduced to a pile of rubble. Before that, not too hard of a life. Member of the Royal Guard. Nothing too crazy in terms of adventures or attachments other than getting myself into trouble and then getting myself out of it. Probably the most hardships aside from losing my city would have been the trail of broken hearts that I've left along the way.
I nearly hurt
Neska
myself
can't help but
rolling
snicker.
my eyes.
Since then, though, being involved in a shipwreck, almost getting eaten by a sea monster, being put on trial by dwarven royalty, being assaulted by all kinds of nightmarish creatures. Yeah, that's a lot of it. A lot's been within the past couple of weeks.
And the ring remained with you this entire time.
Yeah.
Through great loss and great cost to yourself.
I mean, you could say that.
When did he start speaking to you?
Trying to figure out how I want to word this because I don't really want to put a time on it. I was in danger of losing somebody close to me, and I needed help. I asked for help, and that's when I heard the voices.
That must have been very confusing. Hearing a myriad of voices.
Oh, yeah, when you're only expecting one, and then a couple dozen come out. It's a little jarring. When did you start hearing the voices?
I only hear the one voice. You would hear many, given the previous owner, the true owner of that ring. You have in your possession a ring that belonged to one of the most powerful mages in the history of Odromia. A mage whose counsel was sought after by one of the lords of the Nine Hells, rumored to be Asmodeus himself.
Rumored. Okay.
Our order, and he looks at you, Neska, and he's looking at Ivar, and he sees that the words that he just spoke aren't really surprising anybody right now.
Neska didn't see that vision, so the news to Asmodeus would be a little surprising to her.
So it would surprise you. It would surprise you then.
Me.
Okay.
It would surprise Yonshu too. He didn't get the vision. So
yeah.
It would just be
It would just be Ivar
Jal
who
that are cool
wouldn't
as
react.
cucumbers.
But he doesn't see a reaction in Jal's face or Ivar's. And honestly, it's comforting seeing, like, do you have a reaction? Does Yonshu or does Neska have a reaction in that moment?
I think yes. Because if these two haven't had a reaction, then they knew. Why wasn't she told? She doesn't know how old the information is, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a little stab of hurt. Like, why wasn't I informed?
Professor Thaddeus sees the reaction and the lack of one in Jal and Ivar. curious. Yes. According to the stories, Videl, Mesizat, and many of our order, back in the days, back in the ancient times, when the Candle Towers stood tall above the desert, our order was sought after by one of the lords of the Nine Hells, the ruler of Nessus, who sought our counsel and sought our craft so that he might find a way to imprison a mistress of his. Someone that he realized had far too much power and far too much guile that could potentially throw the balance of things into chaos. And so Videl did work. He worked very closely with Asmodeus to form a prison, a housing. And he gestures over the walls of the school towards the Midnight Citadel. As it stands tall, this ominous black obsidian obelisk that is stretching up into the sky. And so we have remained watchful. Watchful over our creation. Watchful for a day when our strength might fail, in order to ensure that she would not be set free. Asmodeus willingly chose to hide himself within the Midnight Citadel, along with this mistress, and as far as we know, they are doing battle within it to ensure that their misdeeds and their failures are not visited upon this world. And that is where you all come in. For as we spoke before, and he looks at you, Neska, you lot brought Lady Nightmare here. You brought her back to Brecca. Back within the circle. We are not entirely sure if he is her biological father, but we are fairly certain that she is deeply, deeply connected with Prince Grajit. Although he goes by Lord Nightmare, here he has taken on the guise of Lord Nightmare. Just to be clear, Lord Nightmare is not Lucas Nightmare. Just so we're aware. Lucas Nightmare is younger.
Is her
Right.
brother.
Yeah.
Yes, her brother.
Yes. What was the prince's name? Sorry.
Grajit.
Rajit.
Grajit. Grazzt.
Thank you.
Currently, the gambit that is being played is one where Lord Mightmore is currently trying to find a way of opening the Midnight Citadel so that his mother is set free, and so that his father might be, once and for all, put down. To do that, Lord Nightmare has sought all manner of weapons and artifacts from all over the plains, weapons of massive power, to either unlock the Midnight Citadel or to assist him in doing away with his father. I would ask you, given everything that you've heard just now, where do you stand?
While you're watching the Midnight Citadel for the day when your strength fails, let me know. Because mine won't.
He withdraws his hand from yours from studying the ring. He looks over at all of the other members of your party, Jal. And he sort of like takes a new stock of each of them and then takes a new stock of you and just starts to chuckle. Sort of, you're not entirely sure if he's amused by what you just said or if he's like, it's like gallows humor almost. Oh, your confidence. It reminds me of some people that I met recently.
I doubt that they were at nearly as devilishly handsome as we are, so.
Poor choice of word.
I don't know. No. You see him get this far off look in his eye. And like he's remembering a certain someone. And he looks deep into your eyes, John. I can't imagine that it could be anything more than fate for me to have met so many strange and powerful and strangely powerful people, all in the space of a couple weeks. It has to mean something. You hear Videl's voice in the ring speak. And he's speaking with a choir of other voices, which I will not attempt to replicate when I actually do any of the editing for this episode. Jean, you should tell him. Tell him of your friends. Tell him of the others.
We've already met a handful of, as you say, strange, powerful, and strangely powerful individuals. Unfortunately, their numbers are, from what I hear, one less, which apparently happened a few nights ago. I guess that these individuals that you could be possibly needing for this fight the opposition has already started trying to take them out. Otherwise, why would there be demons in the streets?
You see him, his eyes sort of like... You're referring to the Silk Sensations?
Fatima Lux specifically.
What do you know of her? And you see suddenly stepping out of the shadows is Chance. This small, like 6-year-old tabaxi child. Wait a second. What do you know about Fatima Lux? Other than she's the coolest lady ever.
I mean, you are absolutely right. She's fantastic. Or was. But yeah, she I actually met her when we came to Brecca. Apparently we interrupted a I guess you could say assassination attempt on her life. Not that she really needed our help anyway, because she did a lot more than any of us possibly could have. So,
But Professor Thaddeus, tell them. She's not dead.
The talk on the streets says otherwise.
yeah, pretty emphatically from,
Yes,
dare I say, officials.
I would agree with that, but I have it from a reliable source. The previous owner of the Silk Sensations, that Fatima Lux is, as far as I know a great many things can change in a short amount of time, but Fatima Lux is alive and well. Currently, her and her companions are hiding at the Six Clan estate. He gestures down at Chance. For the time being, Master Chance, who is the youngest son of Marisha and Matthew, the heads of the Six Clan. What sounds familiar?
Just 6, and now you're pointing at him. We met at Tabaxi with Fatima.
Oh my God! You must be talking about my oldest brother, Mark!
I'm gonna say sure, just went by 6.
Well, of course he does. He does that. Like, I mean, Tabaxi, our last name is technically our first name, but he always goes by our last name. So he's just, but his real name's Mark. But he has never liked Mark, so he just has everyone call him Six. But yeah, he's my older brother, and he is the coolest too.
I mean, you're not wrong. I saw what he could do. He really is, dare I say, incredible.
You see, you see Professor Thaddeus sort of like put his arm around Chance, and sort of like this, like, hush, lad, kind of gesture. If you know Fatima Lux, and you know that she has companions, then you must know who she guards.
Probably the tiefling that was with them, right?
That is correct.
Yeah. Because that was the group. It was the Tabaxi, it was Fatima Lux, and then it was the tiefling. Boop?
And the bugbear.
No, he was with the dwarven
No,
kid.
he wasn't there.
I don't know anything about a bugbear, but this tiefling She was wearing the garb of a monk of Selune.
Yeah, that one. She's adorable. We had a wonderful conversation as we were being paraded out in front of the Dwarven King.
She's a child of Asmodeus. And potentially...
Oh! You're just like, all of a sudden, everything kind of clicks.
And potentially a rightful heir to the throne of Nessus.
Well, that's a lot of pressure to be put on somebody.
Does she have any idea?
I don't know. We've never spoken. All of the information I've shared with you, I was only able to glean because of Fatima and Six. And Tundo, the dwarf.
The king.
He is not a king. He's barely a... I think at one time he was supposed to be a druid. But he is a dark one at the moment. Touched, from what I was able to glean, touched by Mephistopheles.
Touched how? What is a dark one? Or have I heard of that?
You have not.
Okay.
You do remember, though, that you actually never encountered Tundo. At
No,
least
I'm thinking of the king that we encountered, which
you encountered King
does
Tundo.
not exist here.
The Tundo that he is speaking of. This one was touched. Had the touch of Mephistopheles upon them. There is a bargain that has been struck. I don't know what the extent of it is, but that dwarf has a contract currently. You're awfully quiet, Whitehair.
I am. I suppose this may come across as impolite, but after the events we have had to endure the past few days, time is not something that I believe we can enjoy. And so I would like to reach clear conclusion as to whether or not we can presume that our interests are in alignment to face what seems to be what we all know is to come.
Professor Thaddeus gives what you just said some thought. From everything that I have observed, I believe that we are entering some kind of endgame. The board's been set. The pieces have been on the move. And right now we are entering a final phase. There has been moments where we have been in check, and we have moved our pieces in such a way so that we might protect our queen. But right now, I only think we have a few moves left. Not to put too fine a point on it, but I think some pawns might have to be sacrificed in order for us to survive this game. It's a lot of chess terms being floated right now, I'm just realizing.
Part of me was thinking it's chess.
It's dragon
King?
chess. There's
Dragon chess. Is it still like two colors? Like, would it still be considered like two colors? Like, different, like one color, one
question.
team, one color the
I
other?
think it's definitely the same thing as normal chess. If anything, I think that it's just like
More dragons.
Well, yeah, more dragons. I think canonically the pieces are red and white instead of black and white. I'm not sure though.
What's
could
the?
be-
Is
Also,
it
this is
Chinese
Andy's
checkers
book.
where it's like a star, and you've got
Mhm.
like 6 different colors all moving, and if you jump over each other, you send them back to home base.
Yes,
It's like that. That's what
I
I'm.
love that one.
Mm.
Also, they're sorry.
You speak of pieces on a board, Professor. I'm merely wanting to clarify which pieces share the same color as I.
And whether or not you view us as the pawns.
I'll be honest. Before this one arrived, he gestures at Jal. He gestures more importantly at the ring. I would have considered you to be pawns. Pieces to be sacrificed. But if Videl was his art, or at least some part of him is still housed within that ring, and if they are speaking to the owner of it, then that means that the fading tower is close at hand. That means that the fading tower has appeared, or is appearing. That means that the fading tower is not lost forever. You may hold a greater importance yet. I would consider it a possibility that we are allies, coming from different perspectives. But I think given your associations and the people that you know and have interacted with, I could consider calling you allies as well. Do you have lodging? Random question. Do you have lodging within this city?
We do.
Where are you staying?
For your safety, I shouldn't tell you.
I will say for at least a short amount of time that you should consider yourselves welcome to stay here. The school is very well guarded, and all of our walls are warded to protect from prying eyes. I do not believe that if you are staying anywhere else in the city that you are safe. So, take it for what it's worth, but you are welcome here to stay and rest.
Andy, quick question to see if it's something that Jal could have observed. The other mages while they were present, were any of them wearing rings?
Give me a perception check.
And I have disadvantage because I'm a sleepy boy. Yeah, I was right. +0. 7.
Given how quickly they materialized and then seemed to vanish, also Thaddeus' ring materialized out of nowhere, like it suddenly appeared. So you did not see the other mages' rings. Doesn't mean that they don't exist. It just means that you didn't see them.
Okay. Having seen Thaddeus produce the ring, and while he was using it to analyze Jal's ring, and it glowed a different green color. Jal is confused about one thing. And as he's kind of looking around at the area, he asks Thaddeus if everything that this ring does brings light into this world. Why are you and yours relying so much on shadow?
That is a fair question. The shadow we rely on is due to our proximity to the Midnight Citadel and to one of the inhabitants of it. As part of our bargain, we have certain power that is given to us by the Lord of the Hells. He's not our reason for being. We do not consider him to be our ultimate ally. But given our promise to him, that we would hold up our end of the bargain and keep the Pale Knight secured, he has bequeathed a small amount of power upon us. A power that his followers within the city are very aware of. If you were to ever travel within the Candles, or the neighborhood known as the Candles, not the towers themselves, you would no doubt encounter the clerics of Asmodeus. And he looks, and he's like, "It is a pity that not any of you are tieflings, or else you might see an invitation to the hidden temple that is located beneath the city."
Is there a way to go if you're not a tiefling?
Possibly. It is very difficult to get an invitation otherwise, though.
Difficult or impossible?
Difficult.
And, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I just wanted, sorry, real quick, a little bit of clarification. In this universe, devils and demons separate races as
Yes.
well, like the Hells and then the Abyss. Okay, cool.
Abyss.
Damn
Yep.
it.
Why?
Because being a UNT, I'm technically of abyssal descent. Like tieflings being
Yes.
devilish descent. So I was like, oh, can I pull that string? But never mind.
3 cousins twice removed.
I mean, I wouldn't say that that's a terrible idea. I mean, devils and demons are, in fact, both fiends.
I don't know if I like that. I don't know what I just signed up for. Oh boy.
There is that light in his eye as he's looking up this information.
Interesting.
What is it? What do your dungeon master eyes see?
I'm... Nah, never mind. It's okay.
Yeah, cool.
There wouldn't, because of the separation, there wouldn't necessarily be something, you being a UNT, you, without knowing, you could try, but it is one of those things where the UNT, you wouldn't automatically assume, oh, this would give me access to this temple.
It was just a stray thought that I had.
No, it's a good guess.
Let's hang on to it for like a plan J.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think Artway is going to ask.
What do you know about the nightmares?
The nightmares? What do you mean?
Creatures of the dark, capable of rooting themselves inside others, manipulate them, feed off of them.
He looks you up and down. It's like he's it's like he hears the question and then he's like, wait, why are you asking? And then he just sort of like looks over and while you do present as human, there is still something very physically Kalashtar about you. And he sort of like, it suddenly dawns on him that you are not in fact human. And he hears your question and, ah, you are a Kalashtar.
I
You
am.
speak of nightmares. There is an old story. A story that perhaps this one, or these ones, he gestures at Yonshu and Neska. A story about how their people were bested when they tried to press their advantage, an invasion of the dwarven lands.
We know.
The dwarves used dark magic, bequeathed them by followers of the Pale Knight.
With obsidian weapons.
They can be housed within obsidian. The Pale Knight herself is housed within it. He gestures again at the Midnight Citadel. The obsidian acts as a home. It is a place where the creature can find purchase in the mortal plane and use it as a vessel when it is not using other people as a vessel. It is a creation, a foul abomination that was brought within this world by the Pale Knight. A way of punishing mortals and harnessing the fear that her creation would engender. Ultimately, it was given to the dwarves to stave off the Yuan-Ti incursions. And the Yuan-Ti paid a high price. Am I correct? And he looks at you, Neska.
You are correct.
Currently, there is at least what I have gathered from my sources within the city and beneath it, there is a new game afoot. Something that we did not anticipate. But we believe that Lord Nightmare Grajit is using, or has found a way to harness these nightmare dream devourers within some kind of shell. And these creatures, we believe, currently are being held within the Nightmare estate. We haven't been able to prove it. We don't know where else they could be. But we are very much aware that they exist.
Well, we can prove that. And it's also a shell and more of a animated suit of obsidian armor wielding black blades.
How do you know? What proof? How do you know this?
Joe, you see Ivar raise a hand for you to wait for it. Like I said, wait a second. And Ivar is looking at Thaddeus. Have you know any form of way to fight these devourers, or to be able to be rid of obsidian which may possess them within?
Again, as I said, we did not anticipate this. This is not something that we were prepared for.
Can you be prepared for?
take some time. I'm sure that we could come up with an alternative, some kind of...
How long have you known this information about
This
the
is recent.
Devourers?
This is a recent discovery.
Ivar just sort of looks around, even though he may not see or spot the other mages. He goes,
I would hope that at least a few of your members have already begun into trying to understand this threat more deeply.
Let's go back to the I have proof part.
If we did, how could you be of use and help?
We couldn't. We don't know how to combat them yet.
What do you know?
All we have is our knowledge of the Midnight Citadel and how it operates. How it has held one of the most powerful demons in existence. But again, that is only imprisoning them. It is not destroying them. Why do I get the sense that you know more about destroying them than any of us?
I think Ivar's gonna look at Neska and Jal after that question, as if like to check whether or not they seem open to the idea of sharing more.
You just get a little, very subtle nod from Neska.
Well, Jal's cocky because he actually did really well on those fights, so seeing that you're kind of looking for his approval, Jal's gonna kind of like look back and just kind of go, because we're up to 3.
You've killed 3 of these things.
Yes.
Why is that so hard to believe?
It's not something we've had success with. I've lost several to these creatures.
Our condolences. How did they come in? How did they... Hang on. If they knew about the Dream Devourers...
They said that they believed that they were trying to weaponize them. They didn't have any proof. So...
These ones have gone in and haven't come out.
Yeah, like pretty much like, reports that this is a thing. They just don't know how it's being used. They don't know how they're getting Dream Devourers from Dreamland to basically begin infecting people or doing whatever their thing was. So like he said, we think that they have some sort of shell or whatever the case may be. I mean, yeah, we know the specifics of it, but they're just assuming, or they're putting it into a thing so that it can start to infect other people. Proof
But how did his
on their end?
how did his compatriots come into contact with them? Like, how did, if they
That
were
is
under
the next
suspicion?
question.
Yeah, which is what Neska was trying to voice.
What led your people into contact with these spooky individuals?
It was beneath the city of Brecca. There are many tunnels. There were some that were lost in the tunnels, and some that were lost at the Demacia docks. The most recent ones were in the tunnels. Several of the merchant families have dug tunnels over the years beneath the city to traverse it unseen. Best way to avoid your enemies above ground. These creatures, as I'm sure you know, given you have fought them, they don't move like you or I. They can move through some of the tightest spaces and through cracks and through people.
Physical contact.
So,
You guys know from your time on the Dwarven City ship, from your time in Brecca, these things, a variety of different things, most of which rely on some kind of touch.
right.
Whenever these things have touched somebody, there are two things that can happen. Either that person is enthralled and knows it, or that person dies because they literally are driven mad by this creature inside their own mind as this thing just sort of feeds off of their fear.
What happens to the creature after the vessel dies? Do we know that?
You don't, I'll
Okay.
give this to you. You don't necessarily know. It is something that Neska, actually, no, you might know, because it is something that perhaps your forebears have warned you of.
I'm happy to
Most
make a
of the-
history check.
Oh, go ahead. I'll say, go ahead, give me a straight roll for this, because you already have the knowledge.
And we also know that I believe when Neska got affected was from shards also that we have.
Yes, it was from the shards of the sword.
No, because she grabbed one.
Yes.
She did grab a sword, yeah.
I grabbed a whole sword. And that is going to be a 19.
Okay. A 19.
Yes.
Neska, when your people were first defeated by the dwarves, a lot of the times these shadow creatures would appear. You would lose hundreds of warriors, and then these things would disappear without a trace. Like no visible sign of them coming or going. And what you found was a lot of the time the corpses of your fallen would still have these things within them. And all it took was for you to touch one of them. These things spread like a contagion, like a disease. Once the body is dead, that thing is still a host for whatever this thing inside them is. Much in the same way how your people passed down generation after generation after generation this hatred, this fear, this trauma to their children. These things, just through touch, through you trying to provide burial rites to your soldiers, your fallen warriors, these things would then pass down into the people who touch them. Thankfully, the Yuan Ti found this out really quick, and unfortunately it meant that they would not go near certain parts of the Peshium wildlands. Certain parts of the Peshium wildlands that Ivar went to, which is possibly
No wonder
where-
Neska hates touch.
Worst
No wonder Neska
vacation
hates
ever.
being touched.
Oh, wow. Holy crap. That all just came full circle.
Right? I love that.
It's not even just Neska, really. I mean, it's... Or at least certain types of touch, certain types of emotion. It's all a part of a practice, a methodology, a way of living to protect yourself from the extremes that can lead to fear. If you're not actually emotional, then you don't ever have anything to be afraid of.
Oh my god. That makes so much sense with like Neska's training, because what happened? You fail your mission, nobody goes after you. They're not going to try to collect your body. Leave it. Don't touch it. They are gone now. They died in action. Bye. Holy cow.
I think Ivar is gonna Those you lost. The ones that fell to the shadows. What happened to their bodies?
We burned them.
How long ago?
It was about a fortnight.
Who touched them?
We didn't. We didn't know what happened to them. We are not fully knowledgeable about everything involving these creatures. But we do know certain things about necromancy, necromantic magic, all sorts of different things involved in the losing of oneself. Magic that can command, take oneself over after a very brief, not as thorough as we normally would, but after a brief examination of the bodies, we decided that it was in our best interest to burn the remains. Do not touch them.
Were any of their items retrieved?
No. We burned everything. We burned and destroyed the bodies and all of the possessions. It was unfortunate because it meant that we had to get rid of several rings.
Can I insight that? Like, Thaddeus has been so obsessed with obtaining Giles' ring. Was he actually willing to let these other rings go?
Give me an insight check.
I'm gonna say that I know that these shadow things are not fiends per se.
Oh.
But I'm gonna cast Divine Sense.
Okay.
Another one of them was a nat 20.
I'm sorry. You
The
guys
other
need a
one was
long rest.
2. Yeah, we do.
Oh,
The other one was a 2 for a total of 10.
Actually,
Okay.
this is what I'm gonna do. I'm going to use my Divine Sense, and I'll collect 2 of my times that I can use it. There's one of the versions of Divine Sense is that you can try to sense if the area that you are within or around 60 feet or something, I think, is under the Hallow spell. And the other one is the one where you can sense like fiends and like
Types.
skills, like the
Yeah.
types of it. So I'm gonna say that Ivar is currently quietly, while he's having the conversation, he's attempting to do this.
Just to point out, and whenever you've done this around, you realize that the Dream Devourer is not a fiend. It may have been created by one, but it itself is not a fiend. So it's not going to show up in the way it's not going to show up in the way that you think. This thing is the reason why none of these mages were able to detect it prior is because it didn't show up when they would cast certain spells either. Which is why this thing is so insidious in how it spreads. When you do cast the spell, Ivar, you do see that there are certain areas within the school that are under the Hallow spell.
Are these areas visible to me?
Yes, you do see that. There are areas around the gate, the main gate. There are some of the buildings. You can see you can see that there are certain areas of the school that are highlighted, so that these other creatures, or you're not entirely sure what they've been designated for, but that certain beings can't enter that space.
Okay. When it comes to sensing the different types, do I get anything?
No.
I think Ivar right now is quiet. He's just thinking.
Jal has a little concern with something that has come up, so he's going to kind of he's going to get his attention. He said that these merchant families use tunnels to kind of get around.
Yes.
From my experience on patrol, I mean, I've kind of seen how Brecca is, and generally those people who don't have homes will look for anywhere where there is some type of roof over their head. So if your people found these things in these tunnels, am I wrong in saying there's probably a chance that maybe these have gotten a hold of at least a few homeless or other less fortunate?
That is an excellent point. We had not considered that.
Because
Actually, very worrying.
incredibly, that could mean that these things are just walking around now. We're going to be focused on the Nightmare estate or wherever the case may be for this fight, and then the front is going to be all around us.
You see Professor Thaddeus just get very somber. This was not something he had thought of. And you can get the sense that he's actually a pretty smart guy. Don't get to be head honcho of this school and, be Pee Wee Herman at the same time.
Jal's not bright, but he definitely knows how to be a cop. So with that being, this is more so me asking Andy because I can't remember, because we have in the past seen that dream devourers are either enthralling people or attached to people, and I can't. Did we use detect magic?
You saw. I would have to go back and remember exactly what spell was used. I believe it was Ivar who used it. May have been Jal. I'm pretty sure it was Ivar who used it. When you were on the Dwarven City ship, you saw the main creature.
Right.
And then you saw that it had its tendrils snaking out into the city.
Exactly.
You saw it touching individual people. It didn't look like it looked like it was like trying to tap into their fear or tap into their minds.
Yeah.
Not that it was necessarily attached to any one of them. In fact, it is kind of encouraging, perhaps, in the moment. You're not entirely sure, but it might be that the only way for this thing to pass from one to the other is by actual material physical touch. Like, it can't just start inhabiting people, at least not initially all on its own. It needs to go from one host to another host, but it can still use its power to go out in and influence things once it has had a central host, which is why Ivar was a good get.
Yeah. I'm also kind of assuming that the one that was with Ivar because it was with him for so long might be a little bit beefier than the ones that we encountered in Neska's mind, because those ones are kind of fresh out of the gate. Potentially, it's an assumption. So
I will say, I'll just give you this. The one that was in Ivar was an OG. Was not a freshly minted one like the ones that you encountered in Neska's mind. This one had been around for hundreds of years.
Right.
Had resided within the Peshian wildlands, which is why when Ivar came in there with his band of soldiers, it was like someone rang the dinner bell.
Yeah.
I also just by looking at my list of spells. Either we used Divine Sense back then and we allowed it for it, or it may have been connected to me maybe praying to a Minotaur. Whatever it was that allowed me to...
I'll have to go back and check, because I want to
Yeah.
make sure that we're consistent on this, because I have
Yeah.
not allowed you in the past. I'm pretty sure using your divine sense. I think I've fairly kept it consistent that these things are not fiends, so they're not detectable by this spell.
Well, it also, Divine Sense looks for a handful of things, but I do believe that because you've since shared things about the intellective hours, I think that they're technically classed as aberrations. I don't think that pops for Divine Sense.
It doesn't. Now, one could argue, could there come a time, considering Ivar's first-hand experience, that...
What I want to do is I want to go back to the episode where you vanquished the first one on the Dwarven City ship, the one where you sort of exploded the apartment that you were in, and you were able to receive almost a sense of closure from the fallen members of your original party when you went into the Peshian Wildlands.
I remember what I did to vanquish it, because I used command and I told it to perish.
Right.
So one word order after I weakened it, I said perish, and it just disintegrated. But I remember that there was a moment before that where
as you were moving
happened.
into the apartment to see,
You told me that it was like I was seeing things in a different color in a sense, and then I was following, and I went and I saw Lady Nightmare, and I could see the shadow, kind of like from her shadow, sort of extending outward.
Mm-hmm. I'll have to go back and sort of find, because I know pretty much where it was in the episode. I just have to go back and like really watch it again to make sure that it is, because I'm pretty sure it wasn't Divine Sense. It may have been a Minotaur, maybe not though, because I don't remember that you having a direct connection to a Minotaur up until you got to Brecca.
I don't think that I have, from what I can see, I don't think that I have anything that would. Other than that,
I'll look into it.
I think I also remember some of the newer ones we encountered saying that they were stronger than their brother or something.
Well, it's interesting. When you talked with the OG one, he was not aware of any of the things any of the plans and machinations of Grajit. In fact, when you were moving through Ashcaleen, he was trying to control and manipulate things so that he would never come in contact with anything like Grajit. Like, he wants nothing to do with him. And that's why he was like, yeah, Ivar, get on that boat. Let's go. Let's go do this. Let's get out of here. And it was like he doesn't want to be he doesn't want to be manipulated. All he wanted was this, happy paladin to sort of like ferry him about the world and start shit with everyone. And that didn't
Nobody
go
has
well.
ever accused our paladin of being happy. How dare you?
But going back to this moment that you guys are having, Professor Thaddeus is sort of like giving you this information, and he hears you guys talking just amongst yourselves about your different experiences and encounters with these creatures. And you see him just sort of listening, and it's you can see like he's assessing you all again, and it's like, oh no, this group of people has more experience killing these things than we do. Like, we showed up after the fact and burned bodies. Like, we didn't actively engage them in combat necessarily. And so he reapproaches you all. I apologize if we got off on the wrong foot. Based off of everything that you have shared, and of the allies that you have kept, it would seem that Videl Bezizat chose wisely. I do hope that I have not offended in any way, and that we might be able to continue to move forward in a relationship of mutual benefit.
There is no time to be offended right now.
Maybe a little. But we'll let it slide.
You have not faced these things as we have. But we can tell you that obsidian is a big part of what's coming. And obsidian is very brittle. We have seen it shatter into many pieces. If you are indeed scholars and mages, it would be very helpful if your people could come up with methods to ensure that whatever obsidian manifests bringing these creatures, if confronted and clashed and shattered, does not just spread all across the land.
We can work on that.
Forgive me, it might be a little late in the game as we've thrown around all kinds of chess terms. It'll be too late to try to, in a way, hijack or halt any obsidian trade in or out of Brecca.
Interesting that you should say that. Currently, we have seen a lot of activity within the Bay. A great flotilla, a fleet of Charybdis marauder vessels came within the Bay. We heard that they had received orders to find and hunt down a solitary ship. Ship that goes by the name the Hair Trigger.
Intriguing.
Yeah, more so distressing. I have a personal relationship with the captain of that vessel, and I would consider them to be very good friends. The captain is... She's a fiery one, and her friends are formidable.
Why would they be interested in this ship in particular? And if I may, I'm still waiting to see where this comes around to the obsidian trade.
All trade in and out of Brecca has been stopped at this moment. Nothing comes in, nothing comes out.
And your friend, just out of curiosity, your friends on the Hair Trigger are within or without?
They're without currently. As far as I know, they're headed south.
Related to our predicament?
No, direction. I believe they're headed south, along the
No, I
coast of
meant
Surstier.
the reason why to go to the south is because of, we're about to maybe have a portal open and an ancient demon lord come out. Are they working on that too, or do they got something that they're working on.
I don't know. I have not been able to get in touch with... I haven't been able to get in touch with her.
That's fair. Okay.
You said all trade has stopped. Nothing in or out of this city.
Yes?
But earlier today, down at the docks, there were people bartering, trying to get their own vessel to leave. There was an esteemed florist there who was practically, well, he was strongly advising people leave this city.
What did this this florist? He was a tiefling.
Yes.
That would be Brun Wilkerson. Brun Wilkerson
Yes.
is. He sort of chuckles at the mention of the word florist. That man is not a florist. He is actually.
I didn't think so.
He is actually a head of the Thieves Guild, as well as someone who has connections with certain assassins that work within the city limits. If he's trying to get people out of the city, then they are people he is connected with, and he is probably very aware of everything is moving way too quickly right now. I'm having a hard time keeping everything down. If he's moving out of the city, or if he's trying to move people out of the city, then that means we might be further along than I thought.
It's a bit hard to count how many moves you have left in a game when you don't even know you're being played in it.
That is an apt comparison.
Okay.
I am sorry that you have found me in this particular state right now. I'm not...
Normally this misinformed.
I was going to say outmatched, but I am very much alone here.
Don't worry, Teach. We'll catch you up to speed.
I can only chalk this up to your exhaustion, and he gestures towards you.
Rude.
The others that you have seen within the school. And he holds up the ring, or his hand. Stepping from the shadows are mages. And he turns his hand, and they disappear. And he turns his hand again, and they reappear. I'm the only one left.
That catches Neska off guard.
Jaw looking around at the illusions and everything, kind of seeing him have this display. You really are misinformed. Because you're not wrong.
And that is where we will leave it for tonight.
Oh, what an ending!
thank you all for watching. Tune in next time to see what happens next with our survivors of Ashcaleen as they take next steps within the city of Brecca, make new friends, find new allies, maybe join an order or two. We'll see. But we love you all. We hope you have a great rest of your week. And may you roll nothing but nat 20s. Bye.